Hello. We should be live, audio should be coming through, and we should have an awesome little video feed with the newest member of our family. So if you guys have been around my YouTube channel and seen the community post or things on Instagram, we have adopted a new puppy. This is Beetlejuice, or BJ for short. He is almost 11 weeks old because we've had him for almost a week. And he is a little Maltipoo. Right now he's about 4.5 pounds, and he should get to probably 10 to 12 pounds, maybe 15 at the absolute most. So he'll get about 2.5 times the size, and I just wanted a chance for him to meet everybody. Can you say hi? No, he's tired. He's had a long day of running up and down the driveway, chasing leaves, peeing in the house once. No, poo. Oh no, we had 2 accidents today. We're still housebreaking. But he's got lots of people here, lots of new scents, and I think we're just wore him out. So I knew people were going to ask about the puppy, so I wanted to start the live with the puppy. Now that you guys all see him, we are going to pass him over to the husband. Here, husband. There you go. Bye, pups.
It's not a pup. That implies that it's a dog. It's not a dog.
All right, I'll be out in a little bit.
All right.
Welcome to Friday night, everybody. Tonight we are going to work on the Farmer Star pattern. This is a pattern that you can get for $5 as a PDF download over on my website. I've got all of my fabric starched and cut and ready to go, and we're just going to jump right into it. So let's do it. If you haven't gotten the pattern already, you can use !pattern in the chat, and that'll give you a link to the pattern in my store that you can buy it. And I'm just going to switch gears and we're going to get started because I am ready to sew. I felt like I was, goodness, I felt like I was, there was a word. I was cutting so fast, furiously. I felt like I was a master cutter or something today. So I want to show you the fabrics I'm going to work with. The pattern, by the way, I don't have printed, but basically I'll just go back to this other view for a second. It is essentially a Farmer Star block that is set in a 9-patch setting with some sashing around it so that those Farmer Stars pop. The way I wrote the pattern is the fabric that you use for the star legs on a Farmer Star block, and I'll end up showing you what that looks like as I construct mine. The star legs that are on that, I wrote it so that the fabric that you use for the star legs, you use for the sashing and the outer borders. But I think I want my stars to look like they're floating. So this is what I've done. I have decided I am going to use black as my background. And then I am going to use some blue and some green and some pink to really kind of make it pop. So this is going to be in the center of my, looks like the Streamlabs isn't working, so I'm going to log in and see what's going on with that. The pink is going to be in the center of my 9-patch. So, okay, let me take a step back. The Farmer Star pattern, if you have never seen this before, chatbot should be working now. Try it again. It's basically laid out as a 9-patch. And so I'm going to use all 3 of these fabrics for the 9-patch. But then what happens is, if I just lay this out this way, these pieces here on either side, you put a half square triangle unit here and here, and then down here and here. So you have a whole row of going this way and this way that don't have any star legs. So the star legs are really in the corners, not in the middle. And that's what makes this block a little unique. So the way I'm going to lay this out is actually going to be this way. This is how my lovely 9 patches are going to look. And then in these corners, I'm going to have the pink with some black. So if I laid it, I don't know if I can do it the right way, but these are going to be my half square triangle units going in here, and all of this is going to be on a black background. And then rather than using the pink as the sashing that goes around all of the blocks, I'm going to use the pink as my binding, and I'm going to use black sashing, so all of these bright colors are just going to pop on that black background. So what I'm going to do tonight is just work on putting together all of the blocks for this, and I'm going to start by building my 9 patches. Actually, let me open the pattern, because maybe I should put this together the way the pattern says, since I've just told you guys you can go buy the pattern and put it together. Let me open it. I'm not, if I'm being honest, a pattern is a guideline for me. I don't always follow it exactly as it's written. I get the cutouts, but one of the things that I did in this pattern, which I really liked, is rather than making everybody read all of the directions, I gave you one page with a layout of exactly what the block is going to look like. So if you already know how to do all of those things, you can just follow the visual diagram. So you don't have to follow all of the instructions if that's not your cup of tea. I see. Okay. We're going to follow this we're going to do this the way the pattern actually was written to do it, because I don't want to lose anybody. So the first thing that I'm going to do is make a whole bunch of half square triangle units using my fabric B and my fabric F, which is the color that I want in my half square triangle units, and then my background. So to do that, I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch just about a scant 1/4 inch on either side of the diagonal line for each one of these pairs. And to make this go a little speedier, I am using my diagonal seam tape so that I can zip right through as many of these as possible. There are going to be 4 blocks all together, and I'm going to need 8 half square triangle units per block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that's right. I'm going to need 8 per block. So if I count this right, I should be sewing 9 times 8, 72, right? I'm doing math in my head while I'm sewing. That is not a good combination. If I need 8, then I need 4 of these units, 36. I'll need 36 altogether. 4 for each block that I'm going to make, because each one of these will produce 2 half square triangle units, right? One of these will produce 2 half square triangle units. So if I make 4 for a block, then I'll get 8 half square triangle units out of that. And then what will happen, if I need 4 for each block, and there are going to be 9 blocks altogether, then I really need 36. So I'm just going to focus on doing this 36 times just to get my half square triangles done and out of the way. And there's probably an even better way to do this. I'm sure somebody in the chat is already thinking, why aren't you doing the 15 at a time method, or whatever method it is? You can make the half square triangle units any way that works for you. There may be a better way to produce more at a time. For instance, the method where you sew around all 4 sides and then you cut it magically a certain way and yada, 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 you got it all together. This is just what I'm doing. There are always more than one way to do whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in the world of quilting. There's no right way and there's no wrong way. There's just the way that you are choosing to build your project. In the end, we'll all get there the same. Or we'll have different paths, but the end result will be the same for everybody. All right, let me pull the chat up so I can chat with you guys while I'm doing this. Hello, everybody. How was everyone's week? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to set these into piles of 4 so I know what I've got for my blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and said, faster, faster, faster. Hi, Brenda. Oh, my knee. Ah. Oof. Goodness. I've been having problems with my knee the past few days. I've been doing lots of walking. That's good. But my knee doesn't like it. 2. Honestly, the longest part of this is just going to be making these half square triangle units. So if I can get these done now and out of the way, then I will get to play with all the blocks. Once the blocks are done, it's just putting the sashing in and you're all good. Good night, Judy. Hello, 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 Kathy. How are you? Ooh, I'm getting a stabbing pain in my knee. It'll go away in a minute. I've put in a lot of steps today, and this is the first time I've had a chance to sit down, and it's not happy. It's not happy. Need some arthritis Tylenol tonight. All right, so that's 2. And then what I'm going to do to keep myself a little bit organized, 2, 3, 4, is because I want piles of 4. I'm only going to count out 4 of each one, sew those together, and then I'll know that that little stack is all done for that block. This just helps me focus a little bit more on the chat and being able to multitask. Otherwise, you'll just hear me sitting and talking or sitting and counting all night. Like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, Paula. Bless you, Becca. Do you have an ice bag? Probably. If it keeps acting up, I'll get up and do something, but it literally was fine before the live. And usually when this happens, it's just a few times and then it goes away. Hi, Mom. Hey, Teresa. How are you? Feel like I haven't seen you in about 30 years. Feel like I'm missing everybody lately. October's a busy month for me. I knew it was going to be. We've got a lot of stuff going on this month. And I feel like I'm missing a lot of people. All right, here we go. Would you believe this is my first time to sew all week? I have not had a chance to sew at all this week. So I'm just like, let's just rip it and get into it. It's Friday night, probably the only time I'm going to have to sew all weekend. So let's just do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. What is everyone working on tonight? I don't know if I'll get this whole thing finished tonight, but man, I would love to. We'll see what we can get done before 10 o'clock. We kicked it off and started sewing right away, so. Yep, we are sewing a pattern that I wrote that you can buy on my website for $5. It's called the Farmer's Star pattern because they're star blocks that are called the Farmer's Daughter Star. I believe that's what it's called. So I'm horrible at naming things. You're all lucky I didn't just start naming things pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3. Oh, what one is that? Oh, it's pattern 1. Right? Look at that. We've already got 4 of our sets done. Aww. So Terry said, hey, Becca, I'm recuperating after grooming my Shih Tzu. Yes. Tammy Davidson said, I'm still waiting for my 3rd clue to arrive. There was a delay with manufacturers. Thank you, Becca, for getting me started with cotton cuts. You are so welcome. By the way, is my mic coming in too hot? It looks like it's clipping just a little bit, so I'm going to try and adjust it. I don't want it to go. I think that should be a little bit better. Oh, so Terry said, Becca, please get your dog used to grooming and clipping nails. That's my best advice. That's actually what the vet said yesterday. They said now is a great time to get him used to having his ears and his teeth and his paws handled. So whenever he's sitting in the sling and riding with me, 1, 2, 3. Did I just pull one? I did without counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did one. I'll play with his ears and stuff. Oop, cut the thread and I didn't need to. 1, 2. Thank you, Ian. Ian, just let me know that my mic is good. Mic is fine. Awesome. I really like using the lapel mics like this because I feel like I don't have to project my voice as much because it's right here. And because the mic is closer to me when I'm sewing, you don't hear the machine as much. I can talk over top of it. Whereas if I'm doing a video or a live stream and I'm using the microphone that's hooked up to the physical camera, I have to project my voice a little bit more to make sure that that's coming through the way I want it to. So I'm really happy it's working and behaving. I found the issue that I was having with it the other day. So technology, my friends. Did you say puppy was sitting in a sling? I have a puppy sling that has a little leash that you can attach to his collar and it buttons closed. And I can wear it crossbody. So yeah, I will, when I go run errands or I need to take him out and about with me, I'll put him in the sling. He likes it. I mean, he won't sit in it for long periods of time, but I think it kind of swaddles him a little bit and it keeps him close to me so he can feel my warmth. He can hear my heartbeat and it makes, I think he likes it. Seems to. Hi, Katie. Things are going well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to do, because I'm going to need 3 3s. So this visually reminds me of a 9 patch if I do it this way. Yeah, like a puppy snuggie. It's literally, it's a crossbody sling that you wear so that you can go hands-free while you're carrying your puppy around. But he's not enclosed in like a backpack or, well, I guess backpacks, you're not really enclosed either, but he's not enclosed in like a carrier or anything. So you can still get to him. He still feels like he's somewhat free and exposed, but he's also attached to the sling through a little leash that's sewn into it. One end of the leash is sewn into the sling. The other end of the leash is attached to his collar. So he can't just jump out. I mean, I guess if he was really unruly, he could. But I say you use those with caution and don't just assume that your puppy isn't going to run off on you because they can still do their own thing. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just sewing. Can I ask what brand mic do you use? It sounds so good and I don't hear the machine. I use a Rode Wireless Go mic, but I also have some filters set up in my software to reduce or eliminate background noise under certain decibel thresholds. So you're getting kind of a 2-4 because the microphone is close to me. It is and it is, I believe, directional. That just means it's going to prioritize picking up my voice over anything else. It is not sensitive enough to pick up everything in the room, I don't think. But then the filters that I have help, the software helps the sound that's coming in continue to prioritize my voice over other things like fans or machines or other fun things that might be happening in the room. Ian actually uses the same microphone that I do. Hello, Tracy. If you guys haven't checked out my moderators already, they all have channels of their own, and if you do !friends in the chat, you will see a command for each one of them, and if you use that command, the chat bot will give you a link to their YouTube channel. You can hop over, check out their content. If you like what you see, you can subscribe. Feel like we're going to do a couple of charm pack giveaways tonight, by the way. So it's going to be one charm pack per winner. And if you have won already, you're not going to be able to enter it. You're not going to be able to win again. If the bot picks you a second time, we'll pick a new winner. So at about 8:30 my time, so in 7 minutes, we will kick off the bot, and we'll say well, shoot, let's see, 1, 2, yeah, we'll do every 15 minutes, we'll open a new raffle to win a charm pack, and it will be a mystery charm pack, so you don't get to know what it is. But I'll give you a hint. They were charm packs that I had in my pop-up shop. I will send out a little package to you with a mystery charm pack, a free pattern, and I will mail those tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe Monday, depending on when I get your address. So we'll kick that off in about 6 minutes, which is about the time that I think I'll be finished sewing all these together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do these. Cut the thread! Cut the thread! A lot of the charm packs did sell out. Thank you, Pat. But there were several that were still left, and a couple of the lines, I think 2 of them, that didn't really sell very well. All right. One more set of 4. Draw open to Canadian subscribers, shipping cost. You know what? If you are, we will be generous tonight. I will cover shipping to Canada. Not a problem. I will cover, fact, I will be happy to do this for everybody, but if I punch in your order and your shipping for your one charm pack comes to $20, I might offer you a gift card somewhere else instead. We'll just play it by ear. Because obviously if there's like one person in Australia that wins and it's only that one person, I would be okay, because I would still be within my budget, sending to that one person or sending to that one person in Australia or Canada. But I don't want it to be, I'm going to do 6 of them, and it would be a little painful financially to send 6 to Australia. And I'm only using Australia because I know they're 12 hours different, so they're like polar opposite, so I'm assuming they're the furthest. But I do want to give everybody a chance to win. So we'll just see what the bot picks. If the bot only picks US people, then it's cheaper for me. And if it picks people outside of the US, let's give you guys a chance to win, and yeah, I don't need to say anything else. I think I've beaten a dead horse now. I am really excited about putting this together. This is a variation of my own pattern because what I'm doing is using the background for the sashing too. So it's going to have a completely different look than what I would have had if I would have just followed the colorway of the quilt. All right, so here are all 4 of those, and right at 8:28. Man, am I good or am I good? So I'm going to go into the giveaway, and we're going to get that all set up. Let's see if I can do it from over here. I think, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we're just going to not do it from over here because it was going crazy. We're going to do it from the browser window. Where is the tab? There's the tab. Here we go. So let me get, oh, no active giveaway. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Add giveaway. Why can I not add? Oh, there we go. Good. We're going to try to draw every minute. Ba, ba, ba. All right. I don't need that. I think I'm set here. Add. Now let me do giveaway settings. Aw, Martha, thank you so much for that tip. That really means a lot to me. All right, are we ready to do this? We're going to start our first one. So the code that you're going to need to enter and get your ticket is going to be !charm because of Charm Pack. All right, let's get this cut apart. And I need to keep that. Oh my goodness. Stand and stretch, as Teresa would say. It's time to stand and stretch. Oh, I really do need to stretch. I'm stiff. Let's move. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, you know what? I gotta stand back up. Because I need a little square ruler to square up these half square triangle units. So I'm going to, now that I have all of these sewn, I'm just going to take a small ruler and a rotary cutter, and I am going to cut right in between those 2 lines of stitching so that I am turning them all into little triangle pairs. Every 15 minutes until 10 p.m. tonight, we're going to give away a charm pack. So make sure to do !charm to get your ticket for the first charm pack. And then just while I'm seeing everybody enter, aw, Katie, thank you so much for that tip. I appreciate that. While I'm seeing everybody enter their info into the chat, just make sure that you know you have to be here when your name is called by the bot in order to win your charm pack. And don't worry, we'll give you a minute or two. And since you know when the names are going to be pulled, you can kind of work around that. So we started at 8:30 Eastern time, and at 8:45. Oh, Gammy, thank you so much for, I don't know if that's what you meant to do since you typed charm in there, but there you go. Thank you. But sorry, we will be pulling a name at 8:45, 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, and then the last one will be at 10. So 8:45, 9, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, 10. Yep, 6. So you'll know when those names are drawn. You have to be on the live stream when your name is called in order to win. And we'll wait for the chat to settle down before we get back into the chatting. This would be a really great time to use my, and I might go get it actually, my, what are those called? Perfectly slotted trimmer, cutter, ruler, square things, whatever they're called. This would be, in fact, I think I am going to go get it because there's so many of these. It'll help. Hold on. Oh my goodness. So one of the fun things that we have living in this property is people that are trying to deliver a package can't see the house. And the GPS takes you right to the end of our driveway. Absolutely does. But they don't see the driveway, especially at night, because it's an asphalt driveway, which is black. I literally don't know. I need to go get Jason to help them. So give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. She just pulled up, it looks like, and Jason's going out to meet her. So we ordered Chinese food tonight for dinner, and that's the DoorDash delivery bringing food. Like I said, it's been a week. I knew we should have put the order in from his phone. I will, thank you. Craft a Simple Life said, grab your slotted trimmer. I will, I definitely will. Just need a minute to, I'm gonna cut all these apart, and then I'm gonna go grab the slotted trimmer. Maybe get solar lights for your driveway, sweetie. That's a great idea. We thought originally, and it's one of those things that we keep saying, oh, we need to do it, and then we don't. We do have reflective tape down there. We've got some reflectors, but they've kind of gotten knocked down. So what we really need to do is get one of those reflective signs that have like our address in it with an arrow and nail it to a big tree that's right at the end of our driveway. That would really help. It's one of those things that we keep saying, oh, we need to do that, and then we get distracted and don't think about it, because most of the time everything's okay. But every once in a while, you get that one. Look at that pile of half square triangle units. Oh my goodness. All right, let me go to my ruler safe. And I'm going to get that ruler out. Maybe it's in here. I thought it was. that's not it. That is. And it's the one I need too. So the slotted trimmers, they come in a pack of 2, and one of them is whole numbers. So if you're squaring up to like 2 inches, you need that one. And the other one is your half, like 2.5, 1.5, whatever. Yeah, Shelly says you can also add a comment on orders that the house has a long driveway. Yep, it does. We do, and we still get the questions. All right, so the way I'm going to do this, oh boy, there's a ton. The way you use these is pretty easy. You find the dotted line on the ruler, and I'll hold this up so you can see what the ruler looks like. Let me see, actually. Okay. There are 2 lines underneath each number. There's a dotted line and then a solid line. In theory, the solid line is where your fabric is, the dotted line is where your seam is, and this shaded area is your seam allowance. So what you do is you find the size that you want to square up to. So you got 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, or 6.5, and you put your seam right on that dashed line. And then I like to do just a little extra by turning my half square triangle unit so that it's at a 90 degree in front of me. That means I'm putting this at a 45 degree angle. I'm going to line up my measurement on that seam, and then I'm going to come in and just clean up the right. And usually that doesn't move around, but it did this time. So I'm just going to put it back on the line and where it cleaned up, and then I'm going to clean off along the top. Now, if I wanted to, I've got these notches in the ruler that would allow me to take an extra step and come in and clean out here and here. And that's going to cut these little dog ears away. So I have a notched half square triangle unit. So when I open this up and I press it, I have no dog ears. I don't know that I'm going to take that step because I've got a lot of trimming and pressing to do. So I'm just going to worry about getting these squared up right now. And yes, I know this method does have a bit of waste, but one of the ways that I like to make half square triangle units, because I want them to be nice and precise, is make them big and then square them down. So my 2 at a time method had you cut a pretty big piece of fabric. That way, if you are a novice sewer and you don't necessarily have a perfect 1/4 inch right now, you're just learning, or you have problems with your points, those measurements should help you still get a good, the right size half square triangle unit when it's all done. 5 more minutes till we pull our first name. I wish there was a machine that I could put these in and just have it be like, okay, they're all squared up, here you go. But because I'm using this slotted trimmer, I only have to clean up 2 edges for each one of these instead of one, spin it around, and then do the others. If you use the rotary mat, it makes it easier to get the dog ears too. Would you believe I don't have a rotary mat? Would you believe that? Because I don't. I had one, and I lost it in the move. I don't know where it is. I never use the notches. It feels dangerous to me unless I am using a tiny cutter, so I just trim the ears with scissors. 100% Brenda, I feel the same exact way. These little offcuts, by the way, there are still things that you can even do with these. I wouldn't necessarily sew with them because they're way too small, but if I save them all up, you could use them as batting for a dog bed for a shelter or a cat bed. And now that I've got a new little puppy in my life, I might actually save those and put them into a dog pillow. I did that for our cat when we adopted Tommy years ago. I made him a little pillow with scrap like this type of shredded fabric. One of the other things that I can do to make this a little bit better is bring my tools closer to me, bring my materials closer to me, so I don't have to reach as far, and that'll just make the cutting process go a whole lot smoother and maybe even a little bit faster. It's like Tula Pink said in that video for Fat Quarter Shop, we're not trying to revolutionize or make this happen really quickly. We're just looking for little things that we can do that'll shave off a fraction of a second here and there to help reduce the time overall. And I will say the one thing that I really like about doing this on a live stream is I feel like when I have somebody to talk to or just hang out with while I'm doing busy work like this stuff goes so much faster. Next thing I know, all of these are squared up and I feel like it was super fast. I feel like I'm taking more time to line these up than I am to actually trim. How is the cat? I recall you getting the cat back after the move. Cat's doing great. Cat does not like the puppy, but the cat doesn't like anybody or anything that is new. He's fine. He just, the good news is that the puppy's really small. Really small. And the cat's just been hanging out upstairs, kind of away from the dog. He has plenty of places to go and hide if he doesn't want to be around the dog. A flashing Beetlejuice sign for the end of the driveway would solve all your problems. That's hilarious. All you've been hearing this week around the house is Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And Jason's out in the driveway, and Zoe and I are working on our recall with him. And so you just hear us going, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. We have been calling him BJ for short. And Jason was like, I swear, if Michael Keaton pops up in my house, we're going to have a talk. The vet got a kick out of his name when we took him in. She was like, what's his name? I was like, Beetlejuice. And they were like, oh. And then they saw him with the black and the gray. They're like, well, he's got the coloring for Beetlejuice. I was like, yeah, we didn't name him. That's the name he had when we agreed to take him, and we just decided to keep the name. We had the opportunity to change it, but it suited his coloring, so why not? Like I said, I have a horrible time naming things. I told you earlier, I wanted to name all my patterns 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, we're going to square that one up. The timer should be pretty much up. Let me refresh and double check. Yep, okay, we're going to pick our winner. So remember, you have to be here to win. We're going to hit pick winner, and it's Cynthia Kilpatrick. So Cynthia, if you could just type something in the chat to let me know that you are still here. And you acknowledge that you have to email me to get your charm pack. You'll have to email me your physical mailing address and I will mail that out to you. Let's just see if Cynthia's still here. We'll give her to like 8:47. So like another minute to reply. And if we don't hear anything, then we'll pick a new winner. Oh, there she is. Hi. Okay, great. Cynthia, email me, Becca@SEWBECCA.com. And we will complete that one, and we will do another one, and we'll pick this winner at 9 o'clock on the dot. Well, 9:01, because it's a 14 minutes from now, and I set it for a 15-minute timer. So 9:01, we'll pick our next winner. Exclamation charm for a new chance to win a charm pack. If you got a ticket before, you need to get a new ticket. feel like I spend more time fussing with the fabric than I actually do squaring any of these up. Like, okay, get it positioned in the right spot, move away the scraps, push the trimmed one out of the way, bring in another one. Oh, shoot. And then after we get all these squared up, we're going to press them. And I'm going to press all these underneath the black. I don't remember what I said to do in the pattern, but like I said, sometimes patterns for me are just a suggestion. They are not the gospel truth. If I'm making a tutorial video, I follow them exactly the way they are written, just because I don't want to lose anyone. This is not a tutorial video. I'm just showing you how the quilt works up. And dun, 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 dun. Since that is the case, I'll do what I want. Oh my goodness. As a reminder for anybody that is watching, I will not be live next week. I will be out of town, but I will be live on the 28th. So don't come here looking for a live stream because there won't be one. Taking the week off. Man, that's a lot of half square triangle units, but this is honestly the most time-consuming part of the entire process. This might be a good instance where if you did have a die cutter and you wanted to cut out your triangles and sew them together, kind of like what you do with cotton cuts, that could save this step. Hello, Robin. Welcome to the live stream. Don't forget to do exclamation charm in the chat to get yourself a chance of winning a pattern printout and a mystery charm pack. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? Give me a topic, ask a question. I'll see if I can feel I have nothing. Like, is there a significant learning curve to using the Martelli cutter? I watch and I'm so afraid you will nick yourself. I think honestly, my opinion is it really just depends on how attached you are to the other cutter. I hear people say all the time, oh, I can't use that cutter. I can't use that cutter. And I used to think, well, I used to use the same cutter that you're using and I learned, but I had only been quilting for a couple of years. And I just kind of thought, well, everybody gets to pick their own tool, their own way of doing things. It doesn't always have to be, what works for me doesn't always have to work for somebody else. So I didn't really think about it much, just kind of let it go. And then a friend had a stick cutter at her working station, and I picked it up to make a few cuts, and it felt so foreign to me. It really did. And it was just awkward, and I didn't feel like I was getting a straight, precise cut. And it's because my muscle memory was not used to using that type of a cutter. So I would say, yes, there is a learning curve. No, it is not impossible. But what I have heard, and this isn't always the case, the people that tend to have the most problem with this rotary cutter, I think, are quilters who have been doing it for ages using the other rotary cutter, and they just, it's hard to break that muscle memory. Oh, Christina said, my physical therapist told me to use your rotary cutter because it was much better for me. I will tell you right now, I mean, I've trimmed all these up, right? And this hand, completely fine, no issues. This one is starting to cramp up. My hand that holds the ruler gets tired before my rotary cutting hand. So Tiffany said, Debbie Cook, it saved my carpal tunnel before I had surgery, and now it's great for my arthritis. Yeah, I forgot about that. Tiffany had a whole video series that she did a while ago about how a quilter goes through the carpal tunnel process. How do you compare the blades to other blades? Do they last as long? I mean, if I'm being honest, I only use Martelli blades, and I haven't actually used anything else in years. So I don't know. I don't feel like I can give you a good comparison on whether the blades are leaps and bounds better than anything else. But I kind of feel like if I'm going to use a Martelli cutter, I might as well use the Martelli blade. I think it matters if you are sitting or standing as well. The Martelli works better for me while sitting, the straight ones while standing. Yeah, I can't cut well. I used to be able to, but it's been a long time. Cutting while sitting using the stick cutter, not great. I remember when I started taking when I took my first intro to quilting class. So I decided I wanted to start sewing, and my mentors and teachers were Jenny Doan, Crafty Gemini, Leah Day, all of those YouTube names that we all know and love, right? Fat Quarter Shop with Kimberly Jolie. Watched all of their videos, and I was obsessed with absorbing as much. Oh, Sarah Lawson. I was obsessed with pulling in as much knowledge as I possibly could. And eventually, I got to the point where I wanted to take a class because I had been sewing and making bags and other practical things, but I wanted to take it up to the next level. So I went to a local quilt shop. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I just happened to be, my nose itches, happened to be driving around after church one day and thinking, there's got to be a place that sells fabric and notions, not just Joann's, but like something else, because Joann's was my happy place for a very long time. And I didn't even know the term local quilt shop or LQS at all. And sure enough, a couple popped up, and I was like, oh, I bet they're not open. I bet they're not open on Sundays. And at least one of them was. So I went in after church, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh, this is great. So I'm walking around and looking, and I noticed they had classes. And so I looked over the class roster, and I eventually ended up signing up for an intro to sewing class. You brought your machine. It was like a 4 or 5 week class in Sunday afternoons. So Jason took care of Zoe for me so that I could go. And every Sunday for 4 or 5 weeks, I went after church to my little sewing class. And when I was done with all of those projects, I decided it was time to bite the bullet and take an actual class for quilting. And I signed up for a quilting class. And then I signed up for a handy quilter class. And those are all the classes I've taken from that quilt shop. But those are kind of what got me learning some good habits. And I bring all of that up because I remember the instructor was talking about rotary cutters while we were in there, and how you should never cut sitting down. You should always cut standing up. And my brain was just thinking, that can't possibly be accurate. That can't possibly be true. Because what about the people who can't stand? Not even just like the people who have a hard time standing for a long period of time, but what about people who are wheelchair bound? Does that mean that they are never allowed to quilt or use a rotary cutter? That's got to be like a rule that you are making for your sewing room. You know what I mean? So I challenged myself to do all of my cutting sewing down. I didn't have a table that I could stand at. Oops, slide off. You slid off a little bit. This one's going to be just a hair shy. Let me show you what I did. When I was cutting this one, you'll see here, when I was cutting this one, the ruler slipped and I got inside of this just a little bit. So I'm going to just cut the flap part off. I'm not going to continue that cut. And so what that means is my straight edge over here is not as straight as it should be. You can't even see it on camera, I don't think, but it's a little crooked right there. And I'm just going to remember that the longer edge is where my raw edge of my fabric is when I go to sew this in. It's within a 1/16 of an inch, so I'm not going to worry about not using it. I am going to set it aside because if I end up having, no, I won't have, I'll have just enough. I will set that one aside so I know to be careful when I'm working with that one. One of the ways that I try to keep my rulers from slipping, I don't know if you're picking this up when I'm holding my mirror, or my template. There's a few things in the chat, and I'll get to those in just a minute. When I'm cutting, I like to put my fingers on top of the ruler, and then I put my pinky off on the side, and it braces right along that raw edge of the ruler, and it usually will hold it in place. And that'll usually keep it from slipping around on me, but we always have mishaps. Kathleen Karn says, I cut on my kitchen counter. It is the right height. I didn't have a kitchen counter to cut on. I had like a little space between my kitchen sink and my stove. And I had the world's smallest kitchen in our old house. I didn't have that ability. And if I wanted to use it, I guess I could have. And it was really small. I'm talking like this, like maybe this big. You could stand in front of it. That's it. I would have to go upstairs, clear out the kitchen to use the counter. And I was just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find a different way. Grippy spray is great for keeping rulers from moving. Oh, great. I tried to enter the giveaway, but it never gave me a ticket. I tried to enter it again, and it still hasn't given me a ticket. Paula, I am sure it gave you a ticket. The chat bot just doesn't keep up with it. I will double check. And you have 1 more minute to enter. Yep, Paula, you have a ticket. I see it right here. What happens with the chat bot, in case you guys don't know, when I do giveaways, the chat bot lists you in the database in the list that got a ticket. And then it replies in the chat and tags you that you got a ticket. But if the chatbot is spamming responses to tickets, then YouTube doesn't always allow all of those messages to come through. So you may be putting in exclamation raffle and the bot's doing everything it should be doing. However, YouTube might not be allowing it to do all the things that you would expect it to do. I have never seen anybody say, unless nobody's getting a ticket. If nobody's getting a ticket, I've seen that happen. But I have never seen the bot not give one person a ticket, but give everybody else a ticket. And I've been doing this for a couple of years. Hello, Val. Brenda Foley says, my husband is wheelchair bound. He loves his Martelli cutter. Me, not so much. See, it's all a preference. It's all a preference. Okay, our entry for this one is closed. So we're going to pick our winner. Beverly Akins, you are the winner for this charm pack. Make sure to email me your physical mailing address by tomorrow at Becca@SEWBECCA.com. Let me make sure that you are in the chat. If you could just reply with a hi, yay, woohoo, go me. Beverly Akins, if you are just listening, you want to type something in the chat so we know you won. And then we'll open another one up. It is 902. Yay, you got it. Woohoo! Okay, now we're gonna do our next one. We'll complete this. We'll do another one. This one, we are going to pick our winner at 918. So make sure if you are doing exclamation charm to get your ticket, you are near a keyboard at 918 when we pick a winner. And keep it moving quickly. How do we enter to win? Exclamation charm in the chat will get you a ticket. The bot might not tell you that you got a ticket back. It'll try to, but with all the spam that's going back and forth with the chat bot, you might miss the reply because YouTube might not send it. Just trust me, you're getting a ticket. As long as I see that everybody's getting tickets, like the ticket list is growing, you'll be good. And I am. I'm monitoring that, by the way. 51 tickets have been given out as of 30 seconds ago. I just remodeled my kitchen. I'm using my old countertops as a cutting station. That's awesome. I don't know who said that, but that's a great idea. All right, now that I have got, I'm going to turn my iron on because it's time to press. I've got all these squared up. That took a while, but definitely needed to happen. So what I'm going to do now is just press all these over towards the black, which is my background, and I'm going to just be so enamored with how beautiful this looks. That's so great. I like to get a bunch lined up and finger pressed over to one side, especially since the iron's heating up and I can't do anything anyway. And then I'll come in with the iron and get all these to lay really flat. Still flashing, which means it's still heating up. And the light is solid, so we're going to press tons of triangles all at one time. So here we go. I'm going to come in. They're already laying somewhat open, so all I really need to do is nudge them over and get them to go really flat. That's where the heat comes in. I'm not using any steam. I'm not using any best press. I'm just using dry heat. And now all of these are ready to go. I could totally trim off the dog ears, but I really don't need to if I don't want to. I'm going to stack all of these in a pile. I only have one that has no dog ears. I'm going to set that there. And these all have dog ears. I'll set them there. Now for the rest of these, I actually kind of like that because it's satisfying to do all of them at once. But it is really finicky to just sit and finger press just to heat press. So I'm just going to do the Jenny, I call this the Jenny Doan method because I see her do this in all of her videos. She lays it so that the fabric you're pressing to is on top, and then she just peels it back. I'll show you again. The fabric that she's pressing to is on top, pulls it over, applies heat, and then rinse, lather, repeat. I feel like this is a little bit faster. And to get a ticket, type exclamation charm in the chat. Tammy Davidson says, I love the color blue, and it just happens to be blue, although there is one that is gold. Yes, it is. There's a gold one, there's a blue one, there's a pink one, there's a teal one. I want the teal one. But I can't justify spending the money to get another cordless iron when this one works perfectly fine, and the only difference is just the color. I will say I think my Oliso is probably on its last legs and will need to be replaced. And when it's time to replace it, it's actually cheaper to buy a cordless iron. And I feel like these are more functional and they get hotter and they stay hot for enough time to do all the things I need it to do. So I think when I replace the Oliso, I'll get another cordless iron. These are just, I can't say enough good things about them. By the way, I haven't put this back into the charging base at all. And these are still, like, do you see how many I have pressed without reheating the iron? It stays hot for a long period of time. Oh, Audrey, type exclamation mark. So it's Shift 1 on a computer keyboard, and then charm, no spaces, all on a line, all by itself with no other words. John and Kelly Tumlin. So Becca, some of your seams were pressed to the pink. Were you wanting it that way? Oh, were they? It doesn't matter. I was trying to press towards the black. If it's pressed towards the pink, it's not going to matter to me, honestly. If I pick it up when I go to sew it into the rest of the block and it's pressed the wrong way, I always have the option to fix that. But thanks for checking. I appreciate that, because if it was important, I would want to go back and check all of those. On the iron, make sure you get the right one. Yeah, I have the WL607. If that matters to you, that is the model number. Anne says, I haven't been on in a while. How's your mom? She's doing quite well. Her legs are, this is starting to, it's still plenty hot, but I want a little bit more heat. So I'm going to put it back on there and I'm going to let that heat up. And I will prep a bunch of these to be pressed all at once while that's heating. She's doing well. Mom's doing quite well. She was in the chat earlier, but she's not been staying awake for the whole live stream. So I don't know if she's still here or not. Is that iron heavy? No, no, not at all. The Oliso is heavier. Martha said, these look beautiful. Yeah, I think so too. Thank you. Oh, there's Mama. Mama's in the chat. Mama's doing really well. Hi, Carol. Welcome to the live stream. Do exclamation charm in the chat to get a ticket. We're going to be pulling a few more winners for charm packs tonight. We've got active giveaways. All right, this is enough. We'll come in with that iron. There we go. That is how I like to do it, Cheryl or Cindy Saxon says. I got one of those irons after seeing you use it in your show, and I really like it. It's a game changer. That's why some of those were pressed to the pink, isn't it? Because all these were pink up. So let's just change that. Oh, this is another one that I screwed up on. I'm going to put this one aside. This is that one that has that weird bonky edge. Can you see if Audrey Jenkins is entered? Yep. I'm showing right now there are 163 tickets handed out. And when I do a search for Audrey, no one, Audrey, has a ticket. So do exclamation Audrey Jenkins, do exclamation charm, all one word with no spaces on a line all by itself to get your ticket. So Terry says, Becca, what batting do you use most? And do you use a high loft batting? I know some people double up on batting if they want it fluffy. Thanks in advance. I love the bamboo batting from Dream Cotton. That's my favorite. I like the way a quilt drapes when I use it. That's my go-to. I will occasionally use cotton, and when I do, I think I use not the Request loft. It's the second. It's not super low, but it's not super thick either. I do have a couple packages of wool batting. Haven't used them, obviously. Yeah, so I think that answers it. Peachy Cheek says, able to jump on this evening. Oh, so pretty. Thank you. Denise says, Becca, when do you go on your cruise? My cup and I will go on my cruise next week. I leave on Wednesday. I've got just a few more, so I want to feel extremely productive. So I am finger pressing all of these so that I can just swoop in and do the iron all at once. I don't know. I feel like this takes more time to do. In fact, I know it does because I'm being really finicky. But it's so satisfying to be like, well, that's 20 done all at once. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got one off on the side I see hanging out that I need to get. Look at that. Yeah, nice and flat. Just got one more to do. I'm gonna set those in a pile. And now we're gonna build out 9 of these blocks. And these blocks go together really easy. We're going to build it row by row. So rather than doing the 9 patch and adding around it, I'm going to show you the way I put it together in the pattern. We have just a couple more minutes for the giveaway. So we don't need this anymore. What we're going to do, we're going to build out, technically we need to build out 18 of these rows. Because this is the top row and the bottom row, and you need 2 for each of 9 blocks. So I'm going to build 1 to show you. We're going to grab one of our background squares. We're going to set that here. And then we're going to take one of the half square triangle units that we just made, and we're going to make it so that it's a star leg. Your fabric F, your background fabric should be pointing up and to the right, and then you do another background square and then another half square triangle unit so that you are making little star legs. That's wrong, like this, and then another background square like this. That's what you're going to sew together, and we want to press the seams always underneath these background squares. So I'm just going to sew that row and press everything. So I am finger pressing as I go. And I'm not trimming off the dog ears. It'll be fine. And one more over here. And that's the row that we're looking to build. We need 18 of these. Ooh, watching from work. Not going to say your name. Don't want to get you in trouble. Because I didn't trim off the dog ears, I do have this one standing up, so I'm just going to lob that off. So this is the first row that we're going to build. We need to have 18 of those built. So I need to do 17 more. I'm going to lay them out so that I have 17 in each pile, and I can just sew this really quickly. 1, 2, oh, we got to pick our winner. Let's pick our winner first. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Pick a winner. The winner is Karen Brunette. Karen, if you could... Denise, of course I will. Karen, I need you to acknowledge that you won this in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, yeah. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Because I'm making 18 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I saw you enter or acknowledge me, Karen. So make sure to email me your physical mailing address at becca@SEWBECCA.com, and we will start another giveaway. This one will be picked at 9:34. Sweetheart Creation says, Becca, I know most of us quilt creators have more than enough fabric to continuously go from project to project. How do you find inspiration for your next projects outside of box subscriptions? Honestly, I like watching other content creators. I like seeing what they're doing, right? I don't always do the projects that are in the box. I got to count this or I'm going to lose count. So hold that thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and one of you is probably sitting at home right now going 28, 34, 65, whatever. So I really like watching other content creators to see what they come up with, and then I like following the what if method. What would happen if I did this? You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So these are all going in the right direction. We'll stack them up so they're somewhat tidy. And then I'll count out 17 more for this one. And we want to make sure these are going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. All right. We'll get those stacked-ish like that. Now I'm just going to set all these aside and I'm going to sew to make 17 more of this row. So I'm going to do that by first sewing all of these together. This is my method of chain stitching. I actually take the time to cut the thread while I am picking up the next couple of pieces. Because I've got to pick it up anyway. Might as well multitask so I don't have to cut those threads apart. This black fabric is hard to see where the raw edges are. Like if it was any other color, I would be able to see, but black on black is hard. Hi, Becca and everyone, getting on here late, so I have to watch it over later. Hi, Gloria. Welcome to the live stream. Do exclamation charm in the chat to get a ticket to win a charm pack. We're going to pull our next winner at 9:34. Thought I was air sewing for a minute there. I was like, wait, what? Yep, I think I am now. I just jinxed myself. I don't have all the light on in the throat of the machine because it was blowing out the picture really bad. So I'm having a hard time seeing the needle now. I think that's it. Nope. Keeps going to the right of it. Oh, goodness. Yep, there we go. All right. Seems like I have a long wait. It's 12:25 Saturday here in Australia. Yeah, not your time. My time, my time. 9 more minutes. I went to my first quilt show today, Meredith says. South New Jersey area. Oh my, intimidating / inspiring and visual overload. Thanks to all the content creators for sharing your trips to shows. I am glad you recommend them. Those are inspiring too. You go into a quilt show, you see what other people did, and it gives you kind of like this, ooh, I want to try that, right? Like you see what other people do. And it's not just YouTube content creators that I like to follow. I like to watch what people are doing on Instagram. I like to watch video tutorials for things, even if I already know how to do it, because I want to see what they're making. And then going in quilt shops, if you have that option, is always really nice because you can see the displays that are worked up. I also like to browse patterns. I like to look at some of my favorite designers and the patterns that they're putting out because those are a lot of fun too, and you can get inspiration. My stepdaughter is up visiting for the weekend, and I gave her a pattern to take home and try. And she dabbles a little bit in sewing and wants to start getting into quilting, but she was like, what if this pattern shows you how to make a block, or a block, and you put like 12 of those blocks into the quilt? What if you don't want to do 12 of those? What if you want to mix it up with a block that's in another pattern? I'm like, mix it up. Just make one block and then pick a block from another pattern. Mix it up. That's where you start getting into, oh, well, this is just something I whipped up, right? You start making your own rules. All right, so these are all sewn together. And now I am going to just finger press everything over so that it's tidy-ish. And this is a good chance for me to check to make sure that my triangles are going in the same direction as this one, right? Is it? Yes. Yes, it is. It didn't look like it for a minute. I had to be like, what's going on? I'm going to Houston next month and I am so very excited. Awesome, Amy. Take lots of pictures. I would love to see them. Quilt Festival or Quilt Market, or is it both? John and Kelly said, oh, Kelly. Okay, got it. It's Kelly. I'll try to remember that. Kelly says, I saw a comic that said there are no mistakes in quilting, only new patterns. That's right. It is both, but I am only going to the festival. Got it, Amy. Well, enjoy. You get lots of inspiration from the festival. I'm excited to go to QuiltCon in February. That's going to be a blast. All right, now all of those are done. Now I'm going to attach these squares to this side. So I'm going to take this back over and I'm going to do my version of chain piecing. I don't need, these are all for each, these each are for different blocks. So I don't need to keep them attached. And that's why I'm just taking my foot to cut my thread, because otherwise I would have to do this when it was all done. And I don't want to do that. Hard to pick up all these little black squares, because I can't tell where they start and end. I'll be happy when I'm done putting these rows together. And this is like I said, these are the top and bottom rows. So I'm really killing two birds with one stone right now. I think I'll be able to have at least all the blocks done before the live stream is over tonight. It's an easy sew. Definitely something you could do in an afternoon. Black is the worst to see, Mona. You're right. It is. But black with these bright batiks is the best contrast. So I'll take it. I'll take it. Hi, Zandra. Zandra is from Detroit, my old stomping grounds. Awesome. Almost done. I think I overcounted the black squares on this because I've got 3 left or 2 left after I sewed this one. So I'll just put that other one back in the pile. Sometimes they stick together when you're pulling them and counting like that. Actually, I don't even need these counted because my half square triangle units are counted. So now I'm going to bring these over here and we're going to continue that pressing. I'm not going to take the time to heat press this until the row is all done. I'm just going to finger press everything. See, I'm starting to build out that row now. I'm just going to set this aside. We're going to press under the black. Oh, Karen Burnett says, I worked at Garden City Hospital in '89. Awesome. If you know of a quilting shop in the area, could you let me know, please? I've been looking for one. I think there's one in Dearborn. I know there's one in Ann Arbor. The Ann Arbor Sewing Center. That's a little bit of a drive for you, but it's there. I think there was Material Girls in Dearborn. I don't remember. I don't know if they're still open, but I think that was there. Sweetheart Creation says, all long arm quilters, what is the #1 pet peeve when someone brings in a quilt to you as a long armer? Ooh. Oh yeah, there is a nice one in Wyandotte, right on Eureka Road. Good prices too. That's close to you if you're in Detroit proper. Ooh, Jacqueline's in Royal Oak. All my Michigan people coming out. All right, raffle's closed. We're going to pick our winner and we'll open a new one. The winner for this one is Donna. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. I will mess it up. Just type something, anything in the chat to let me know you're still here. And that you acknowledge, in order to get your prize, you have to email me your physical mailing address at becca@SEWBECCA.com, and I will send it out to you hopefully this weekend. So I'm just going to wait and give you a minute to catch up and be able to acknowledge that you won, and I'm going to move on to sewing this. Hello, Patty from Florida. Oh, you are here. Awesome. I see you. Okay, we're going to roll into our next Charm Pack giveaway. This one, we're going to pick our winner at 9:50. So we're going to go a little bit long because we're going to have 15 of these. So we'll probably end at like 10:05 or 10:10. Good night, Mona. Oh, somebody was charged for more minky than what they needed. It looked like. I was like, wait, what? Huh? Can't keep up with all the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. That one went by really fast. I was like, wait, what? Oh, talking about the long armors. Got it. Da, 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 da. I don't have any energy left. I feel like it's a very low energy live stream tonight. Bum, bum. Oh gosh, you know what that just made me think about? That song I have had all by myself stuck in my head for a while. And I feel like when Tucker and his mom were here, I kept singing it or trying to sing it all by myself. Oh, sorry. Make sure I'm still sewing these on the right way. That's all I need is to get an earworm stuck in my head and start messing up my pieces. All that hard work down the drain. Thanks, earworm. It has been a long week, right? You are not lying. Here's the good news. After I sew these on, then I just need to put that square on, and then all of my top and bottom rows are pieced. One more. One more. And now I'm going to grab all of these, set them over here. And I'm going to press underneath that square. So we should have that now. Now we are all singing it, LOL. Earworm, you're welcome. The bigger these little rows get, the harder it is to kind of keep them from tangling on top of themselves when you do it this way. But it's not impossible. It's just sometimes when you pick one up to do your finger pressing, another one wants to come with you. But then you just have to be like, listen, it's not your time. Go back to your hole. Lay down. I will deal with you when it is time. And usually it says, okay, and it lays back down. That was very cooperative. It like laid there and was like, hey, press me this way. Shoot. Hi, Lisa. Crafting with Lisa Marie is in the house. If you guys don't know, she runs a lovely swap group over on Facebook. If you are into swapping fun things with your crafty friends, it doesn't just have to be quilting and sewing. You can do crochet, knit, diamond painting, whatever floats your boat. If you would like to check out her swaps, make sure to go over and sign up for her Facebook group if you're not in there already. Tiffany or somebody could put the link in the chat. That would be great. You can also just go to Facebook and search for Crafting with Lisa Marie Swap Group, and it'll come up. All right, there we go. Now, Becca, which Nancy is your mother? Nancy Sexton. Glad I'm not the only one to talk to my fabric, right? Yeah, smack it and put it in its place. Carol Lawrence says, how's Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice is fantabulous. He's doing great. I'm quite pleased with how quickly he's coming up to speed with some of the training, given that he's only a 10-week-old puppy. He's still not housebroken, but we're making progress. It's actually kind of cute, but also disgusting at the same time. So figure that one out. He has learned very quickly that the place to poo is on the pee pad that we have in the house. If we can't get him outside in time because we haven't learned all of his signals, he's so little, he's going to have accidents. So we are taking him out every hour on the hour, but occasionally, because we are still learning, he has the urge, right? Like, and he doesn't know how to tell us that he has the urge just yet. So he has started going over to a little pee pad that we have set down for accidents and mishaps. And he starts circling on it. So that has become our trigger for how we're going to pick him up and take him outside and have him poo out there. But there have been a couple of times where he just goes over there and he sniffs once, and we don't know if he's sniffing to investigate or sniffing, like we don't catch it in time and he goes. But I think he feels like because his front paws are on the pad, he's on the pad. But his bottom is not on the pad. So he does it when he pees and when he poos. He gets right on the edge. And we've tried overlapping them so that he will be like not on the edge of that one, but then he just goes on the edge of the next one. So it really is just a whole lot less headache if we take him out every hour and let him roam the yard freely, and give him a treat if he does his business. All in time. So that's what we've been doing. He's doing great. Another one gone, another one gone, another one bites the dust. Don't. Another one bites the dust, and another one's gone. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's like that Maui song, right? You're welcome. I can't even remember how it goes now. Aw, he's trying. He is trying. And we're rewarding him for even the tries, right? Like he knew to go to that one spot. So I'm going to reward that, not with a treat or anything, but I'm going to tell him good boy because he went to the pad. He just didn't know that his butt was not on the pad. We'll get him. It'll get there in time. Oh, no, Cindy, I'm so sorry. Big hugs, as our friend Laura Lynn would say. Big hugs. And just make a giant pad where the edge is outside. Cover all the floors. And call Empire Carpet, be like, I just like to put down a pee pad in the entire room. Thank you. Dogs don't know they have butts, right? But they sure know other dogs have butts because that's exactly where they go to sniff and introduce themselves. Right up the butt. Oh, geez. Becca, my mother bought a toy poodle, kept him in a box while training, would walk him to the back door outside 3 weeks later in yard only. That's kind of what we've been doing. He isn't in a box. We want him to be able to run around, but we keep him confined to a room as best we can. We have learned to put furniture and some baby gates up to kind of keep him in there. If he leaves the room, we walk with him. He's not allowed to be unsupervised in the house because he is not housebroken yet. And as soon as we see him nose to the ground, we scoop him up and take him outside. But even on top of that, every hour, hour and a half, because he's so little, we pick him up and take him outside, even if he's not sniffing. And then if he doesn't do his business, then we just go on a walk. We just walk the driveway and we get some more steps in. And we practice our heel commands and our come commands, and then we'll have like Jason and I, or Zoe and I, or sometimes all three of us will go out there and we'll practice like, go to mom, go to dad, go to Zoe. And that works really well too. So he's been getting lots of exercise, which this is a little interesting for me because Aiden was such a big dog. When we trained him and got him, I had to take him like on an hour-long walk. I would have to walk him up what we called Superman Hill, or drive him. I'd have to take him up to the dog park for a good hour, hour and a half, just for him to run out of energy enough to not, because he was so big. I can take this puppy outside, we can walk the driveway, play a little bit with his toys when he comes back in, walk the driveway 2 or 3 times, do some training, and play with his toys, and he's like, okay, I'm done. Leave me alone. I'm done. I'm done. It's because he's so small. Oh, look, I didn't cut my threads on these. I will now. We save older dogs, and MJ was a great companion, I bet. Aiden was an older dog when we got him. He was a great puppy. I say puppy, he lived a very long, very full life. I say puppy for all dogs. You could bring a St. Bernard in here that's 100 years old, and I would say, oh, puppy! My trainer says yes instead of good boy. Oh, that's a good one. I saw a guy. Okay, now that these are all finger pressed, I'm going to press them. Got to turn my iron on. I saw, we've got 1:59 on the timer for the giveaway. I saw a guy doing, I've been watching lots of puppy training videos, just, cuz. And I saw a guy talking about how apparently, like, there's this whole controversy about saying no. So when you're trying to correct your animal and tell him no, like that, I don't want you to do that. Oh, I'll read that in a second. Hold on. But yeah, they said that saying the word no is like inhumane or whatever. Like the dog doesn't know, he just knows that is a command. Like, how is that inhumane? But I have found myself, instead of saying no, I'll say no, thank you, or I'll say nope, or like nope with the P, or I'll say leave it. And I really need to pick one. But I haven't been making it sound aggressive, like no, because I don't want him to think I'm yelling at him. Okay, let me see. What was that comment about up there? Becca, they say 5 minutes times the number of weeks old is the amount of play a day. Ours is 10 minutes and zonks out about 4 times a day. Oh my gosh, well then he is getting tons of playtime because he's only 10 weeks old. So 5 weeks times 10 weeks times 5 minutes, that's an hour, 50 minutes. We are playing with him like 10 to 15 minutes multiple times a day. He's also taking lots of naps. Usually on days where I work from home, I don't know what Jason does when I have to go into the office, but on days where I work from home, I get up every hour and I walk him outside and we do our steps and we come back in, and then I'll be in meetings, or as long as I don't have to type anything, if I'm just on a call, I'll sit and play with him a little bit. But usually he's content playing by himself. He'll come, we've got lots of chew toys. He'll come in and play with his chew toys and stuff when we come in from our walk. And usually, honestly, every day so far, about 12:30, 1 o'clock, he's just like, leave me alone. I need to sleep. And he'll sleep for like 2 or 3 hours. We wear him out. And then yesterday, we wore him way out. At bedtime, we're crate training. So he sleeps in his crate. Every night, we put him in there and we cover the crate with a little quilt. And we turn on the TV with some soft background noise so he can hear it. The crate is in the front room, not upstairs in the bedroom, because when we're gone away from the house, we don't want to have to take him all the way upstairs. So we keep the crate downstairs. Plus, it's better for if he's going to whine and cry, we can close our bedroom door and don't feel as bad. Anyway, he goes in the crate at night. Last night, most nights he goes in and he'll whine and maybe cry for a couple of minutes, a few minutes, and then he'll stop and he sleeps through the night, or at least he's quiet through the night. Last night we put him in there, not one peep. Not one peep when we put him in. Or when, like, all through the night, he was quiet as could be. It's so much like, that part is a lot like having a baby. To do the crate training, we're dealing with the whimpering and the uneasiness, or I don't know the right word. We're dealing with that now so that we can reap the benefits later. Oh my goodness. My leg itches. Val said, my trainer told me with a puppy, you just need to walk the dog outside, not carry him, because he needs to learn about walking to a door and going out. Just a suggestion. Yes, we're not carrying him outside. I do have to sometimes pick him up and lift him so that he goes down the step, because he's so small that he's had a couple tumbles going down off the steps, and he's a little shy. In a couple of weeks, he'll be a little bit bigger and it'll be different. We have a winner to pick. Let's pick our winner, and then I'll continue that story while I build out the next rows. One word commands are best when they are small. Yes. I just yell car and they come running, Teresa says. John, oh, Kelly, not John. Kelly, you are a winner. I know you're here because I've seen you going, but just confirm that you're here. Just type in the chat for me, please, that you're here, and then we'll pick our last winner for the night. And after this winner is picked in 15 minutes, we'll end the live stream. So we'll see how far we can get. I would like to make at least one block, so maybe I will make, I will take 2 of these because I would like you to see what the block looks like, and then I'll do the rest of this off camera. Or maybe I'll set it aside and I'll pick this back up when I come back from my cruise. We'll work on this next Friday. That'll be fun, I think, maybe. Kelly, are you still here? So while we're waiting for Kelly to tag me back, this is going to be the top and the bottom row, just like this. And then we're going to take 2 of our half square triangle units. We're going to build out 2 more. We're going to build a row here and a row here, and then the center row. But because I'm trying to get this done lickety split, I'm not going to actually chain piece all of this. We're going to do like that. And then we're going to have a black in between here like this. When are you going on your cruise? I leave on Wednesday. Like that. Now I'm going to lay out my 9 patch for the middle. So I want the center square to be the same as all of my legs. And then this is really just a matter of preference. I can do it either way. I don't remember which one I said I was going to do. I think I'm just going to lay it out so that I have this in the 4 corners, and then I'm going to lay out the blue to be in the middle. Kelly, we need you to acknowledge that you're here, so we'll give you till 9:56. That's 1 more minute. If we don't get a message from you in the chat, then we will move on and pick a new winner. So what you're going to do is build out this row, this row, this row, and then you'll sew all your rows together. So here we go. I'm just going to build the top row. By the way, this row and this row are the same. So if you did the same thing that we just did where you built out 18 of that same row, that will help you make this go a little bit quicker. And this time, we're always pressing away from the half square triangle unit, I believe. So this time we're going to press to the green, always to the green. Up here, it's to the background. This row is to the green. All right, I think Kelly may have left for the night. It is 9:56. I've given her plenty of time. We're just going to pick a new winner. Linda Kendall, can you please message in the chat and let me know that you're still here? You do have to be here when your name is drawn in order to win. Let me know that you're still here, please. Where am I going? I'm going on a cruise. I'm leaving on Wednesday. It's just a short weekend cruise. There we go, that one. So I'm going to build out the other row that's exactly like it, pressing the same way. Linda Kendall, we are waiting to see if you are here. You have won the prize that was supposed to go to Kelly, but she wasn't here. Goodness gracious, are we going to end up missing a lot of people? It is towards the end of the line, so there could have... Oh, there she's there! Yay, yay, yay! Goodness, I was so worried that we were not going to be able to give that one away. Okay, we're going to do one more. So Linda, just email me your physical mailing address at becca@SEWBECCA.com, and I'll get that out. And we're going to do one more giveaway, and this will be the last one for the night. And then after this is over, we will end the live stream. So about 15 more minutes. There we go. I am building this from the opposite direction this time. Doesn't really matter which way you build it, whether you build your row from the left or from the right, as long as you know that you're putting it together in the right order. Okay. Like this. So up here, see if I show you, these actually are the same exact rows, but down here I have the triangles pointing that way, and up here I have them pointing up. And then this is our middle row, which I am just going to take and sew together. And then I will put all of my rows together into the block. This is the center row, and this one we're going to press underneath the background square. So we're going to press away from the blue in this case. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. All of the pressing instructions are in the pattern, so if you follow those, your seams should nest together quite nicely. Oops, wrong direction. Let's fix that. Of course, if you always want to err on the side of caution, you are always more than welcome to press all of your seams completely wide open. And there you go. All right. I have got all of my rows sewn together. Now I'm just going to press them to get them really flat before I sew them together. So they're already laid out. I'm just going to run my hot iron over them. Just like that. And then we're going to flip onto here. And I don't pin. You are more than welcome to pin if you want to. I just like to nest my first seam, line up the raw edges leading up to that first seam, and I hold it with my finger and just sew. I feel like pinning, especially something this small, just takes too much time. And it doesn't really, like, I can get good enough results this way. Just like that. Can't remember what the pressing instructions in the pattern said, so I think everything was just pressing all the seams down, so that's what I'm going to do just for the sake of tonight. So I'm going to press those two rows together. Now I'm going to add this row on there. I think if I would have had a 3-hour live stream, I would totally have this whole quilt top finished. But I don't like to go 3 hours. I get up early in the mornings, and starting at 8 o'clock is already late for me. I'll lift it, pull it down like this. Thank you. The block is looking fabulous. I'm really loving that black background. That's going to make this pop. There we All right. One more row, and then we'll give it a really good best press. Aw, Joni says, I enjoy your channel. Thank you so much. Have a relaxing cruise, you lucky girl. I am really excited. So this is a cruise I am going on with a girlfriend. She goes on this cruise every year that they have it. And I will just let the cat out of the bag now because somebody's going to ask. It is a cruise with New Kids on the Block. I am so excited about this. She's been on all of them. And I've always said, one day I'll go, one day I'll go. And I never do. And this is the year that I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to go. So yeah, really excited, really excited. Okay. So to get this to lay really flat, by the way, look how pretty that is. And it's a little washed out, I feel like, because of that white balance, but this is a really good representation of the color. So what I like to do, what I want to do tonight is flip it over. I'm going to give it a press from the back just to get all the seams to lay nice and tidy. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to. And I'm just going to tug on these a little bit so everything's nice. It's just giving a little bit of tension while I'm pressing the seams flat. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. And there. And then from the front, we're going to give it another press, but this time I'm going to put some best press on it. Oh, I sat too long. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Rich. I will. I'm going to have a blast. It's going to be great. This helps the seams lay even flatter. And then if I really wanted this to be super flat after doing my steam or my starch, I could get a clapper while the block is hot and lay it right on top of this, allowing the fabric to cool under that nice, consistent, even pressure. And that's going to stop the seams from popping up just a little bit. So this is what the block looks like. It does need to be squared up. It's a little messy because I didn't trim my dog ears, but I do want to point out that I did not trim my dog ears in this, and the block still went together just fine. So you don't always have to trim those dog ears. If I'm being completely honest, there are a couple of spots like right here where the point of this doesn't come right to this blue, but it looks fine and you wouldn't have noticed that if I didn't point it out. This is the block. How many times this year have you seen New Kids on the Block? Only 2. I only went to 2 concerts. This will be the 3rd time. I remember it was my 12th birthday, and one thing I asked was my music be I asked was my music be played, which was New Kids on the Block and not the parents' music. This is really pretty. So I already have the top and the bottom row for all of my blocks. All I need to do is build out this middle section, which that went together really, really quickly. Honestly, the most time-consuming part of this pattern was creating your half square triangle units and cutting your fabric for the pattern. This is a really, really quick sew, and you can get the pattern on my website. If you do !pattern, take you to a link, $5 PDF download. The top lies so flat when it's all done. Oh yeah, Mary has done this, by the way. She has done this quilt. Philippa says, Becca, what makes it a New Kids cruise? Is there a concert every night? It is actually a cruise with the guys on board. And so they do concerts and parties and events, and basically it's a 4-day party on a boat with New Kids on the Block. What is the link to Lisa's swap? Oh, I'll get it for you. Not a problem. I really should add, I had a command in there and then I went through and cleaned up a bunch of my commands, and I think I knocked that one out, and it wasn't for any reason other than I was just trying to have less commands. But I'll get that for you, not a problem. Crafting with Lisa Marie swap group. Here it is. All right, I will put Lisa's. There you go. It is in the chat now, and I will just go ahead and add that back. Streamlabs. Let me put that in the command bot so you guys could just do like exclamation Lisa Marie in the future and be able to get that link to her group. It just takes me a minute to create the command. Oh, I already have this running in another window. Whatever, it's totally fine. I just feel like if I don't do it now, it won't happen. There we go. There, it is now active. Exclamation Lisa Marie will get you have on board the ship, Becca. Olivia, was that another part of a message? Because I don't know what that meant. Have fun on the cruise. Tammy says, I broke my arm on that day, ended up in emergency. So instead of celebrating my birthday, aw. I went on a cruise with Celtic Thunder and it was a blast. Oh, I bet it was. You're welcome, Lisa. So Lisa, next time you jump in the chat, anytime you jump in the chat from now on, if people want to join your group, they can just type Lisa Marie. You can type it too, exclamation Lisa Marie, all one word, and the bot will automatically give them the link. So the moderators will know about that too, but it'll be there for you to use anytime you jump into the live chat. Can you show us your new puppy? Puppy's sleeping and probably in the crate. I did show the puppy at the beginning of the video though, so if you just, literally it was like the first minute or two I showed him off. Unfortunately, I'm going to ask you to go back and watch from the beginning just because I'm not getting him out of the crate. It's 10 o'clock. We like to put him in the crate at 8:30 or 9, so he's done for the night. All right, let's see. We still got 2 minutes to go. Brenda Foley, I am in Lisa's swap group. What is the best suggestion first? For your very first one. Oh, okay. My best tip for Lisa's swap group is to talk to your partner and set boundaries. Quilters are very generous souls. They love to give. I love to give. But sometimes those swaps can feel like you didn't do enough for your partner. I don't know about you, but when I'm in a swap situation with somebody else, I want to bless them with a lot of things, but I know what it's like to receive a lot of stuff and not have sent what I think is enough back to them, because then I feel like they did all this wonderful stuff for me and I didn't do enough for them. So it's a little tricky. And I don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt, right? You obviously don't know if you don't talk about it. You don't know what they're going to send to you. So if you're worried about not sending enough, or you have a budget that you need to stick to, or maybe you don't like a certain type of thing, or you really can't use something else, have a discussion with your swap partner, because that is going to make your swap the best possible experience for you. I like to discuss limits on what our extras are so that we feel like we can give a little bit extra in addition to our swap package or our swap gift item. But I like to set boundaries on those. So what I have been doing in the past few swaps that I joined, I asked my swap partner if she was okay with a $25 limit for any extras. And that seems to go really well, because if you want to send extras, you can, but it gives you a threshold that you're both agreeing to. I'm out of sync. Can you refresh your screen? Is anybody else saying that, or is it just you? Okay. We have our last raffle winner. It is Elena K. Elena, if you could let me know that you're in the chat, that will be the end of tonight's live stream, but we want to give her a chance to join and let me know that she is there. You can see, you can hear me, but you can't see me. There we are. We're just going to give Elena a second to confirm that she is here. Good. Sometimes things happen. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. The fabric is so pretty. Who is the designer? These are actually Anthology Batiks. It's not a line. It's just batiks. Anthology Batiks. Elena, you won! Okay, Elena, you need to email me, Becca@SEWBECCA.com with your physical mailing address, and I will get your package out, hopefully this weekend. You guys, I have had a blast hanging out with you tonight and working on my pattern. This is a really easy sew, and honestly, I feel like if I was live for another hour, I would have the whole quilt top completely done. So if you're looking for a quick and easy sew that works up really nicely, make sure to do !pattern in the live chat. You'll get a link to the pattern over on my website. And for those of you that are watching the replay, sometime Saturday, we will add a comment. The first comment down below here will be a link over to the pattern on my website. Regardless, if you can't get either of those, if you go to my website, you click patterns at the top of the page and you go down to pattern shop. This is the Farmer's Star pattern. It is a $5 download, quick and easy sew, goes together just beautifully. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Remember, next week there is no live stream from me. I will be in the middle of the ocean with a whole bunch of women and 5 guys from Boston. And then I will return to the airwaves on October 28th. So I will see you guys all in a couple of weeks. Until then, there will be other videos that are coming out. Those are all pre-recorded videos, so there's still content that's hitting the airwaves while I am away. Enjoy your next couple of weeks, and I'll see you guys live 2 weeks from tonight. Bye.